Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another 65 video. The new Dinosaur Movie of 2023 starring Adam Driver is just around the corner now as we finally enter the week of release for the upcoming blockbuster. Releasing on Friday the 10th of March 2023, 65 is about two survivors who crash land on a prehistoric Earth set 65 million years ago. While some synopsises out there will give away a massive plot twist, I won't be reporting on that just yet as it is a pretty interesting discovery. But this new movie will involve Adam Driver playing a pilot called Mills, as well as Ariana Greenblatt playing a lone survivor called Koa. Koa and Mills must find a way back home and leave planet Earth while evading some strange looking dinosaurs on their path. And that's what we'll be focusing on for today's video. The dinosaurs of 65. Now, these designs can come across a little bit goofy and odd, and has undoubtedly been the main upset for ordinary Twitter users. But because these designs are a bit, let's say, different, it's very hard to properly identify what these species could be. No writers nor directors have come out to confirm any of the species names either. So again, this video is going to be a little bit of a challenge to build, but do forgive me if it is hard to tell what these species may be by name. But now, moving away from the introduction, let's get into confirming all of the species that we know of so far for the 65 movie. From what we can see via the trailers of 65, we're aware that there will be a vast range of creatures set to appear within this movie. Taking a look at trailer 1 of 65, we have our first creature that appears within this movie. Now, while we don't exactly get to see its full body reveal, we can tell that it is a small aquatic species with a thin spiky sail going down its long back. It seems to be shaped as an elongated creature that can't be too large, as we see that Mills is in a shallow depth of murky water here as he looks for survivors from the crash landing site of the ship. So while we don't know what species that this might be, we do know that it is a small eel shaped creature with a sail going down its back. And yes, I do assume it to be a carnivorous creature. After this, the next carnivore that we do see is a little easier to name as we can see a full distinct feature of this dinosaur. Here we have some kind of Oviraptor dinosaur that attacks Mills inside the cave of his refuge. We can tell that it is a species similar to the Oviraptor due to the crest on top of its head. While Oviraptors and their similar species were known to have been omnivorous, it seems like this one is going to be a larger version as well as carnivorous. So yes, at least we kind of know what to expect from this dinosaur. In this next scene, we have an aerial shot of a flying reptile being swept out of the sky by a larger flying reptile. So, to put it bluntly, we have two species in this one scene. But the first one that we do get to see is a group of flying Dsungaripterus. We can tell that this is a Dsungaripterus by the size of them flying in flocks, as well as a distinct crest on the top of its head that matches the fossil records of Dsungaripterus. I'm excited to see what these little fellas do in the movie, and I do hope that they add some kind of ambience to the scenes where we get long shots of the planet, as well as Koa and Mills walking around. But we can also see that there's a larger flying reptile that snatches one of the Dsungaripteruses out of the sky. Now, obviously, we cannot tell much just by looking at the legs of this flying reptile, but we do know that it is indeed larger, suggesting that this could be a more popular species, such as Pteranodon, that snatches the Dsungaripterus out of the sky. Either way, it's another species to add to the list. Before we continue with our next dinosaur on this list, please be sure to press that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see my first initial review and reaction on Friday when this movie releases. We'll be covering the movie upon release, as well as multiple Jurassic related content on the channel that I hope you'd be interested in. So please do consider subscribing to the channel and checking out some of my previous videos. Right, so the next animal on this list is a dinosaur that, again, is hard to perfectly name. Without a doubt, this dinosaur falls under the Dromaeosaurid family, a family that includes dinosaurs such as the Velociraptor, Utahraptor, and even Deinonychus. But this little thing crawling through a log here, we don't actually know what it is, but it must be a raptor of some kind. Simply due to the size of it and its partial feathering, it's safe to assume that this could well be a Velociraptor. It's got the name, it's got the size, it's got the feathers, and it also makes sense given that the Velociraptor is a popular household name thanks to the Jurassic franchise. So while we don't know the exact name of it, we do have a slight idea of it. Moving further on with this list, a new name that we are learning of in the movie franchises is Nothosaurus. Nothosaurus was first introduced to me via the Jurassic World canonical Netflix show Camp Cretaceous, a creature that walks on all four legs but is also an aquatic reptile too. While it may not technically be a dinosaur, it is indeed a prehistoric reptile that may or may not show up in the 65 movie. We see that Koa comes face to face with a creature that's very similar in the build to the Nothosaurus, but may be, yet again, a similar creature from the past in its family group. While we see its ugly mug attack Koa on the beach, we can also see that its alien looking body faces Mills as well, and even gets shot by one of his futuristic gun weapons. Now, finally, we have the big bad boy of them all, the carnivorous large theropod that roams and stalks both Koa and Mills everywhere they go throughout the trailers. We see it show up in a cave, outside through the marshy plains, and even nose to nose with Mills himself. Not quite sure how he's going to get out of that situation, but indeed there'll be some plot armour. Again, due to its design, it's incredibly difficult to accurately name what this dinosaur could be. So some might say it's a T-Rex, some might say it's a Giganotosaurus, but the only main indication for an answer here are its claws. This creature has 3 claws, meaning that it shouldn't be a dinosaur like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, as we know that they only had 2 claws on their hands. So for it to potentially be a dinosaur such as the Giganotosaurus is increasingly more likely. Whatever it may be, it's got a really odd posture to it when we see it crawling towards Mills. It clearly looks oversized for whatever it may be, and its shoulder blades are sticking out so incredibly weirdly. However, from what we can see, it's just too difficult to name this dinosaur. It's got the head of a Tyrannosaur, claws of a Giga, and the posture of, well, I honestly have no clue. But realistically speaking, we know it's going to be used as the big, bad, scary dinosaur that will get in the way to try and prevent Koa and Mills from leaving planet Earth. And there we have the confirmed species. However, if you didn't already know, 65 has undergone a huge script and story change, as well as the whole movie practically being reshot. In its original script, there were actually 2 herbivorous creatures that were added to the original movie that was filmed and edited way back in 2021. The first dinosaur was described as a Triceratops, and the second one was described as a 3-legged Ankylosaurus. That's correct, you didn't hear that differently. A unique 3-legged Ankylosaurus was originally supposed to be in the movie. Now, we don't exactly know if these 2 will make their way back into the final cut of the movie, but I am really hoping so, as it would be nice to see some herbivores in the mix of the dangerous dinosaurs in 65. For now, we just have to wait and see. And so, 65 is just around the corner, and we will hopefully finally get a few new names to these species that we see in the trailers. If there were any other species that I may have missed, please feel free to let me know which ones I did miss in the comments below. And whilst you're down there, feel free to also let me know which of these species you're most excited to see in the movie. Be sure to subscribe for more and like the video if you enjoyed, but most importantly, make sure you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you, did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.